Good morning, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of 4 for the Purple Cow by Seth Godin.
Good day.
For those of you that are listening and are in the Ottawa region, Rami is putting on an event on May 6th. I think this is going to be upside down, or is it going to be the right side up? It's going to be good?
Yeah, that's good.
So it's called the Savor the Moment event.
Yeah, so if you're a foodie, if you want to experience some Ottawa small vendors, no franchises, it's a great place to go. There's 25 vendors out there from breweries, wineries, food restaurants, some cultural stuff. You get access to 25 vendors. I'm so used to saying lenders. 25 vendors across Ottawa. It's a good night out.
Cool. And this is for Children's Wish Foundation.
For the Children's Wish Foundation.
Which you work with?
Yes. So I'm chairing this event here, and we're actually going to grant a wish on stage on that day.
Whoa.
I think
Do we know what the wish is?
I think we're sending them to Hawaii.
Cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
Nice.
it's becoming one of the more popular ones. And normally we do Disney World, but Hawaii is becoming very popular.
The Children's Wish Foundation is sort of a purple cow in its own, right?
So it's Canadian.
Yeah.
That's the good thing about it. Make-A-Wish is another one that's sort of, it's bigger because it's more international. But Children's Wish is really coming out in Canada, and it's really helping out a lot of children. I think they've raised a ton of money. They've done a ton of children's wishes, so it's a really cool organization.
Is there a specific number of wishes a year that they grant?
No. No, there isn't.
Depends on the budget?
It depends on the budget, depends on the kids that come forward. Like, no kid gets rejected.
Okay.
So any kid that comes forward will most likely get gonna.
But they need to have some sort of disease?
I know it's like a terminal disease or with chances, obviously, just something to give them hope.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a really cool concept.
I love it. Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. Well, let's talk about page 100 to 150 of the book.
Yes,
gentlemen.
Yeah.
So
you guys prefer this section over the last one?
I did.
Definitely.
Yeah, a little bit, eh?
So I think first section was easy. We're talking about the concept. Section number 2 totally blindsided me because I thought it'd be easy to just riff on what we read.
Yeah.
And this time around, I was a bit more prepared. Spent a bit more time just analyzing what he's talking about.
Yep.
And unfortunately, in the first page that we read this week, he says that there's no actual plan, that you can put in motion to create a purple cow. And it's quite self-evident because a lot of these businesses that start out by being a purple cow can't necessarily maintain it, time after time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Apple certainly has, a lot of purple cow products that they released over the years, but it doesn't mean that they'll continue to do it forever. He does give a few tips on how you can explore the idea of a purple cow, and he talks about exploring the edges of your industry.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now, I had a really hard time with that concept, and I asked myself, what does he mean? And I'm a very visual guy, so I actually sort of drew a diagram of the 8 P's that he talks about at the beginning of the book.
Yep.
And if you just make like a little octagon with it, and then you put the I'm sure you guys cannot see this, but if you explore pricing, what's an edge of the industry?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, either very low or very high.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Your product.
Well, here's a good example. If you look at real estate, purple cow from the past 2 years or so, people have been pricing homes much cheaper than it should be priced at, and it's causing wars between buyers to sell it for much more than if you would have listed it for the right price. So if you want to talk about pricing and edging in our industry, that would be something that could relate to that, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like now there's so much for pricing. I think there's so many avenues people can take to get the best price.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And he talks a little bit more about what I liked about the 50 pages, that he's actually talking about maybe 1 or 2 things and just elaborating on it.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
And he talked about Best Buy and how Best Buy didn't just decrease their prices and try to become a discount store. They just listen to their customers. What do the customers want?
Yeah.
And then they adjusted their entire marketing plan towards
Yeah.
it. So have you walked into a Best Buy lately?
It's been a little while, maybe
Probably
a few months.
yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
They were renovating last time I was there.
It's actually unbelievable.
Yeah.
Right?
Really?
And the prices are not better. Like, you can probably find better price on Amazon.
Yeah.
But you know,
It's the experience of going there, right?
Yeah. And
You walk through the alleys, everything is like well displayed, and you can touch everything and try to play around with it before buying it, which I find is pretty cool compared to Amazon, right?
And they're carrying the best products, the best names.
Yeah.
So it's like they didn't just become a Walmart,
Mm-hmm.
right? They didn't become a Target.
Yeah.
They became
Specialists.
it's a Best Buy. And they just listen to the customers, and that's how they you know, I don't think they cared much about pricing. I'm sure it was a factor, but they really just focused on the customer experience.
Mm-hmm.
You guys think that they'll always be around, like brick and mortar shops?
They're the only ones, I think, right now.
Yeah, I think if they keep growing the way they are, then yeah, growing in the sense of evolving. I think the aspect of going there and be able to use the electronics before you buy them. I mean, would you buy an Apple Watch on Amazon? Maybe now, yeah, you would, because you know what to expect of it. But when they first came out, you need to go and try them out, see what they're all about, right?
Yeah.
So I think for electronics, you need.
I think.
But
Yeah. Go
a
ahead.
product like an Apple Watch, it doesn't change in pricing.
No, not anymore. No.
Not anymore, right? So you might as well, like, why wait a day?
Yeah.
Just go to the Apple store.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
go
yeah.
somewhere and get it if you want. If
Right.
you want to.
Right. Makes sense.
Like those big time products like the Apple Watch, I think Best Buy would benefit from, or the Apple Store, right? But
Mhm.
I think they'll remain in business for a long time. To answer your question.
The service is like what's gonna keep them competitive, right?
Yeah.
When we bought the podcasting equipment a year and a half ago, we got everything from Amazon. Tried plugging it in, never figured it out.
Yeah.
So Chris and I actually went to Long and McQuaid, which is a music store here in Ottawa, and they helped us out throughout the process. And now, like, I won't go buy technical equipment on Amazon anymore,
Mhm.
just because I know I could go to Long and McQuaid and speak with somebody that knows.
Yeah, and we now know there's too many questions behind what
Oh
you're
my
buying.
God, there's
Yeah.
it's much more complicated.
Yeah, if you go to Best Buy, they'll take time to explain to you how to use it and what you should be buying, whether it's a printer, whatever it is you're buying. So yeah, I think they're still going to be around for a long time.
They should triple down on that, and I think they are, right?
Yeah. Like I needed a laptop charger.
Yeah.
My laptop stopped working, and my charger stopped working. My laptop is working fine. My charger stopped working. I went to Best Buy and I was ready to buy the black market charger,
Yeah.
and the lady persuaded me not to and buy the actual one because that's the reason why the first one actually
Fried.
Yeah, fried.
Yeah.
Like she's like, just get the actual Apple charger. It's $20 or $30. It's
Right.
expensive,
Right.
but at least it's gonna last you for a couple of years.
Yeah.
You don't get that on Amazon.
So you go there for the product and also
The knowledge.
expert advice.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. makes
Another
sense.
thing Best Buy is doing that's kind of big, if you don't mind me interjecting,
Oh.
Go,
of course
go
not.
ahead.
is they're doing a lot of appliances and like Dyson vacuum cleaners, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they're offering really competitive credit.
Oh, okay.
So
Ah.
like financing plans.
Good.
So they have their own in-house credit card.
Right. Yeah.
You were seeing a lot of older big box stores do that,
Right.
but now they're not only pricing competitively with like their LG fridges and dryers and washers,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but now they're offering a really good payment plan on it too. So
Yeah.
that's getting a lot of people in there.
And I think their return policy too is like one of the best. You can return anything you buy from there.
Yeah. And what is it? Geek on Wheels.
Yeah. Yeah.
They own that,
Yeah.
right? That's a huge additional service to customers.
Yeah. Purple Cow.
So-
Purple Cow.
So it doesn't always have to, relate to pricing, because we've been talking about Best Buy for the past few minutes, and like pricing didn't come up, right?
Mhm.
There's other things that you can compete in. So yeah, it's good.
So I like something to add to that. How do you? What was your question again? There's no plan to create a Purple Cow. There's a part, I think it's a bit further, where he says you might as well spend the bulk of your money on multiple Purple Cows
Yeah.
instead of one big advertisement for one Purple
Yeah.
Cow.
Because you don't know which one's gonna hit.
Exactly, and you learn a lot more by the ones that failed than the ones that you focused on and maybe failed or maybe worked.
Yeah.
So,
I love that point. Spend 10 million on 10 different products instead of spending 100 million on one product on
Yeah.
TV ads.
Yeah.
Because if that product fails, you're done.
hmm
If 10 products fail, at least you know that those 10 products are not going to work.
Yeah, you learn.
And you
a lot
learn
more.
like 10
Exactly.
times more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he talks, he has a quote here, I forget which page, but he says, if you don't have time to do it right, what makes you think you'll have the time to do it over? So, brings up that point, you know, if you're gonna be spending a shit ton of money, you know, you won't have time to do it over. So, just go about it the right way, try multiple ideas,
Yeah.
right? Take the time, step back, explore the boundaries of what it is that you're doing,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and try out ideas.
You know, a lot of the cool points in this book, we've all basically highlighted the same ones.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They
Right.
were easy to, they were standing out. Yeah, for sure.
Another pointer he gave about creating a purple cow was not to compromise. He gave the example that vanilla ice cream is not a compromise, or is a compromise, but habanero pecan is not. So you're unique when you're offering, you know, spicy ice cream.
Yeah.
But you won't build a purple cow when you're offering something that everybody else has.
hmm
So if you're a realtor and you're saying, you know, we sell our houses fast and for more money, you sort of sound like everybody else.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, we should say we sell all of them, and you know, and it'll take us a year to sell
It's
it
really
for
hard
a
to
lot
market.
less money.
It's hard to market yourself and become a purple cow in real estate.
Yeah,
But
but
it's-
you can tweak your service.
It's a
which in
saturated
turn,
industry.
You know, yeah, you can go.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say you can just tweak your service a little bit. You know, like our purple cow for the longest time was our sign calls. If you call one of our signs, it rings on all our phones. We were using that to our advantage. Mind you, a lot of people do that now. But that was our little tweaking of our service that helped us get a crap ton of listings.
It's true, yeah.
Right.
Not to say,
And you were going door to door and dropping off pumpkins at one point. There's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff that you've done.
Yeah.
Tried a gazillion things, right?
Yeah. You tried 10 million things.
but the return on paying for our sign call number versus the pumpkins is way higher than the
course.
pumpkins.
Yeah.
Well, mind you, we did get a deal or two.
We did get a few listings.
Yeah.
Yeah. He also talked about the South Park. So, you know, if you take normal, you know, he talks about the focus groups and stuff like that. I know we're jumping ahead, but it's
No, it's
it's
fine.
also relatable, right? Like
Yeah.
if you jump to like South Park, the focus groups that were held to determine whether South Park is going to be a success or not. I think they got like a 1.5 rating, and then exploded. Like South Park was super fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Beavis and Butthead. Do you remember those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
man, you loved watching this.
Yeah.
And it's such a, it's such a like, it's a simple show,
Yeah.
but it's just funny.
It's a
Right? You have, like, the
amusing
Trailer
video
Park
show.
Boys. It's funny.
I read something about
The Office.
Beavis and Butthead yesterday, actually. It was about Rob Zombie and how Beavis and Butthead made him famous with his band White Zombie.
Oh, okay.
It's funny we talk about it today.
There's something I heard about South Park creators is that they will release an episode like off the cuff, because if they look at it too
Yeah.
long, they'll realize how ridiculous it is, and then they won't do it
We almost never got the Kanye is a gay fish episode because of that.
because they would have not released it if they would have spent.
Yeah, they thought it was so
That
ridiculous.
was 100% word of mouth.
Yeah,
You would go to school and somebody would talk about, they would reference South Park.
yeah.
Someone killed Kenny.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's how you would watch
Yeah.
it. This is funny. I'm gonna go watch
My
it.
grandmother bought me a South Park shirt. It was Cartman holding a sign that said, "Screw you, hippie." And I showed up to school with that shirt. It's the last time I wore the shirt. I had to flip it around.
They're funny.
Yeah, yeah, they still are. They still are.
So let's talk about, you know, being outrageous, being, you know, remarkable. Can you go too far with that?
Well, there is a quote that says, "Outrageous is not always remarkable." Yeah, I think you had the example of Alex Jones earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Like his entire popularity is based on being outrageous. You can go a step too far. Like even in 2019, you can go too far. You know.
Yeah.
In the book, he talks about a guy lathering himself up in lard and covering himself up in felt.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
Is
Well,
that-
he is talking about Ozzy Osbourne, but he's also talking about like a.
Because I thought that was, I don't know, he didn't say, but I thought maybe that was Tom Green. Because that was that was in the years that he was starting to get
Ozzy
popular.
Osbourne is lucky to be both outrageous
yeah.
and remarkable, but a performance artist smearing himself with lard and wrapping himself in felt
Did he do that?
is just plain weird. I'm not sure because I actually Googled Ozzy Osbourne.
You
and
did a
lard.
lot of stuff.
I did the
I'm not
same.
joking. Yeah, like I actually Googled it and I couldn't find anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, like, I mean, I didn't know what lard was. Lard is like butter, right?
It's like a bacon fat. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the
Hella
same
lard.
search, I
That's
saw,
where it comes
is
from.
lard more healthier than butter?
Is it?
I'm not sure. Anyway, but I didn't click on it. It was gonna take you on a completely different
Rara?
rabbit hole.
Is it?
Did he like bite the head off a bat at a
A
concert?
dead bat.
Yeah.
Right here.
He
Yeah.
is just completely drugged out though. Like that's what made him outrageous. You know, Metallica. He was.
Is it?
They were
Lard is
one of
better
a
than
kind,
butter.
weren't they?
Lard is better than butter.
Yeah, because it has no trans fats.
Yeah.
In terms of its fatty acids.
Dairy's not the best for it.
No.
It's-
Right.
So Metallica, are they one of a kind?
Here's one of a kind. I don't know how to answer your question, but Marilyn Manson.
That's
One
what I'm
of a
talking
kind.
about. Not even Metallica.
Guy's
I'm
a
actually
fucking.
talking about Marilyn
Sorry,
Manson.
are we allowed to swear on this?
Sure.
The guy's a fucking. The guy's a freaking genius.
Yeah.
Right.
Listen to any of his interviews. The guy's just smart, man. Like,
Well,
he's
he's got-
created an image for himself and just.
He's got post-grad education. Like
Yeah, yeah,
master's
but like
or PhD.
he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
The guy's legitimately smart.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
probably wouldn't remember his name today if he didn't look so different,
Mm.
Yeah.
you know? Because his music was good, and I'm sure it still is,
Mm.
but there's nothing remarkable about The Beautiful People and a cover of Sweet Dreams
Well, he was like
more
a,
than, you know, the boy bands that released, you know, other albums.
he was like a drag queen, wasn't he? Like
Well, yeah,
sort
he would.
of.
Yeah, but then if you think about the 80s rock bands, they were all dressing up with ladies' clothes and wearing makeup. The difference for him is that, you know, portraying himself as an antichrist, superstar, whatever he would say, like, just look at him, it's so different.
I have a
So
theory that
ugly.
Marilyn Manson and Josh Ramsey from Mariana's Trench are the same people.
Except he gained weight. I'd go see a show of his. Like, he's an artist, man. Like,
He just, yeah, but he just freaks me out. He looks freaky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
for
never
sure.
listened to one. I've never listened to one of
But
his songs.
remember, Rami, vanilla ice cream is a compromise.
Yeah.
Habanero pecan, Marilyn Manson is not.
You're right. You're right.
124, there's something that I really like that he said. Yeah, so it touches about a little bit about what we were saying earlier. So I'll just read it if you guys want.
Sure.
Remarkable isn't always about changing the biggest machine in your factory. It can be the way you answer the phone, launch a new brand, or price a revision to your software. Getting in the habit of doing the unsafe thing every time you have the opportunity is the best way to learn the project. You get, hey buddy, you get practice at seeing what's working and what's not. So
Okay.
I know we touched base on that earlier. Hey guys, so that's just I don't know where I was going with that, but we did talk about that earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
Threw me off.
I like it.
So he wraps up the page 100 to 150 by talking about, you know, what is the cycle of the purple cow. And some people, like Stu Leonard, right, that had a dairy store,
Yep.
was remarkable years ago.
Yep.
But eventually his son took over the shop, and his son decided to milk the purple cow, right?
Yeah.
Where he turned in his sneezers for early adopters.
We're trading
regular-
1 for 10. You wrote that somewhere. I think I
Yeah,
saw that
so
earlier.
he's turning in the sneezers, and essentially Seth Godin is definitely what he would call a sneezer of any idea virus,
Right.
and he's traded them in for 10 regular consumers. So he's cashing in on the revenue.
Correct.
So Purple Cow does have a life cycle.
Of course.
Yeah.
And you know, he just basically milked the cow, right? He
Yeah.
milked his dad's purple cow.
Yeah. But he doesn't need to step out of the
Right.
box anymore because it's been done, right?
Yeah, but is he ever going to be able to expand to a different city?
Well, this reminded me of the stores that we have here in Ottawa, Farm Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, you'd walk in, they had like these mechanical animals that would sing, and the boy, you know,
They still do.
well, not everywhere. They
They
have
have
them, like
the,
they have a monkey over the
yeah.
bananas that swings, but I don't think it does anymore.
Yeah, I noticed it last week, but we don't notice it anymore.
Yeah.
Right? It's not
Right.
like
It's nothing spectacular.
Yeah.
You know, there's one story. I ordered something from Uber Eats once.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can choose whether they come to the door or you go to the car.
I had no idea.
yeah.
So I chose that they come to the door. And when I opened the door, the guy was so lively and he said this catchphrase that I can't remember what it was. But I can't remember what the catchphrase was, but I can only think of this guy's actually a genius. And I tipped him more than I would tip anybody else.
Yeah.
Right? And that he just gave me that extra service, that experience, and just made my day.
It's
Yeah.
remarkable.
And he was remarkable.
How many times did you tell the cab drivers, you know, you guys should sell water and give out gum in your
Yeah.
cabs? Oh, I don't have time for that. Well, most Uber drivers do now.
Oh,
That's
yeah?
true.
Yeah.
They sell gum?
Well, they give you gum or they give you water, you know, in exchange for
Oh,
tip
right.
and a good rating. So, yeah.
I
Well,
think
it's innovative.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Cool.
Good
Well,
stuff,
That was a good one.
next
So,
week we're going to be wrapping up 150 to
200?
the end of the book.
And we're gonna start talking about our next book too.
Yeah, any hey, let's just touch on this because it's really interesting before we go. This book was written in 2003, is
Two.
it? 2002. He's got a list of 100 what is it here? The top 100 brands in the world.
right.
Did you guys notice something?
Yeah. So the top 10 are all like really old companies that spent all their money on advertising.
Yeah.
And like back when it was, what did he call it? The factory, forget what the term is, but they're all really old companies. And then if you look at the second half, it's all companies that were built on word of mouth. Didn't spend a whole lot of money, as much as Coca-Cola did, or Microsoft, or IBM, or
Amazon is number 80.
That's
Yeah.
nuts. And did you guys notice that Google's not even on that list?
Nope.
didn't even notice.
It's number
that.
67.
Yeah, who is on that list?
Yahoo, yeah. Apple is number 50.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're probably ranked, top 3, I would guess.
So a lot changed since
You know,
2002.
Chapters is a purple cow because they withstood the online bookstore
Yeah.
era, right?
Yeah.
Like and they're still very profitable.
And their book return policy is pretty cool too. You get 50% back, right?
Oh, really?
And you can buy used books.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I didn't know
keep a
that.
receipt, bring it back, and you can go there and buy a book for half of what it usually costs, pre-owned books. So I think that's pretty cool. Like the read and return policy.
And that's some very nice stuff you can buy there too.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if we could host our book club review inside
At Chapters?
At Chapters.
We'd have to ask them. I'm not sure if they would.
Starbucks would.
Yeah, start swing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Anyways, purple cow idea.
Cool.
Okay, we'll see you next week. Page 150 to 210, I guess. And any ideas on the next book that you guys
Let's take
I
a
have
week
a
to think
couple.
about it.
think?
I'll have
Yeah.
a couple of some recommendations.
Yeah.
Keep it a secret.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
let's go with one of yours this time, since the last few ones were yours.
Sure. Yeah.
Cool. All right.
If you guys think of any book,
recommendations.
let us know in the comments below, and we'll consider them also.
Perfect.
Merci for watching.
Merci.